of my life, I just got to be your anthem of praise.
Cayman Academy PTA presents for the first in a long time a teachers concert. See our very own teachers showcase their talents from their culture, fashion show, musical delights as they give us a night of entertainment with fun and laughter. Come on out on Saturday night, March the 1st, 2025 at 7:30 p.m. Tickets pre-sold, $25 for adults. Children under 18, $10. At the gate, children under 12, just $5. Adults, $30. Get your tickets from your teachers at ABC Bookstore, at the conference office, and Funky Times. Part proceeds in aid of upgrading the school grounds. See you there.
Cayman Islands Conference of Seventh-day Adventist proudly presents the Christ for the Crisis Evangelistic series. Join us from Sunday, February 9th to the 22nd at the King's Seventh-day Adventist Church, 213 Mango Turn, Georgetown. Experience powerful messages nightly at 7:15, except Thursdays, and on Saturdays at 9:15 a.m. Our special guest speaker, Pastor Everett Brown, President of the Jamaica Union of Seventh-day Adventists, will inspire and uplift you. Enjoy special features like counseling services, exciting youth and children's activities, a musical extravaganza, and amazing prizes and surprises. Come and receive a special blessing just for you. Don't miss this life-changing event, Christ for the Crisis Evangelistic series.
Are you looking for real talk on love, marriage, parenting, and relationships? Join us every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. for Family Matters, a brand new show on Praise 87.9 FM. Hosted by Dwayne Uter, alongside Dr. Cheyenne O'Connor, a licensed clinical psychologist and relationship expert. We'll tackle the real issues that families face. Straight talk, expert advice, and live call-ins. Got questions? We've got answers. Tune in and let's build stronger families together. Family Matters, this and every Thursday on Praise 87.9 FM.
It's another Thursday morning, and it's Family Matters. We have Dr. Cheyenne O'Connor in studio. We have Dr. Joan Latty and Mrs. Sophia Hamilton. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, morning, Dwayne, and thank you for having us again. Good morning to everybody out there listening to us on a pre-Valentine morning.
Pastor, I grew up learning in Jamaica. Let me just say this. Jamaicans would understand every hoe have them tick a bush.
Yeah. I've heard that one for a little
Heard that one, right? and you have some people say, well, I'm not getting married until God sends me that person. Is that how we choose a spouse? Is someone there waiting for us?
That's a very good question. That's a very good question to open the program this morning. I'm sorry, as we focus on the concept of choosing the right person, and I must permit me to just laugh at that little
Everyone stick a
bush. Yeah. We grew up with that meaning.
Yes.
There's somebody out there for
me, yes,
everybody.
yes.
That could very well be true. And by the way, anybody will probably want to join in the conversation. It's at 945-9029. That's 945-9029.
Or they can send me a WhatsApp, 517-1122.
Okay, good. That's a WhatsApp text,
Yes.
517-1122.
Yes.
So yeah, I honestly believe, and this is my personal belief, I do believe that God has provided enough resources, human resources, to meet the needs of all of us.
Yes.
And I take that from the biblical perspective that in creation, There was absolutely no woman on the planet when
Yes.
God made
Yes.
Adam.
Yes.
And he actually made a woman.
Yes.
He still is the maker, right, of our partners,
Yes.
right? And he's still touched with the feelings of our infirmities, the Bible says. So,
Okay.
yeah, he understands loneliness.
Loneliness,
Yes,
yes.
as in Adam case. Yeah, and he, you know, we as Christians, we always say God does not change. He's the same yesterday,
Yeah.
today, and tomorrow. So if that is true, then his ability to understand Adam's loneliness and create somebody for Adam, right? That remains with God today. His ability to understand our loneliness and create somebody for us. I guess the follow-up question is,
How do you find that?
one, how do we find that person?
Yeah.
And what about individuals who probably choose not to want somebody? You know, there are folks who wish to
Yeah.
remain single. I'm not in that category. I wasn't built for that stuff at all. So I lift my hat to those who want to remain single, but surely I'm not in that category.
Yeah.
And we have that debate sometimes whether it is God's plan or God's intention. But the big question this morning is, how do we find the right, for those who want a companion, for those who desire to be married, both male and female?
Yeah.
One of the biggest issues in this aspect of their life is, how do I find the right person? And
I have a question.
yes,
Can church customs and church culture prevent you from finding the right persons? Let me explain why.
Yes.
Let me explain why. I find that in a lot of church customs and church cultures, you spiritualize everything. And so some things like finances, God will take care of it. I mean, God will take care of it. But some things like even some background checks that you should do, God will take.
you're correct. You're correct, and I'm sure the leader is gonna chime in on this part. But I have had the opportunity several times to recalibrate the minds of some of our faithful members of the church who, as you correctly said, tend to spiritualize away just about everything. And I've always said, because you find the person in church does not necessarily mean that this is the right person for you. Because the devil has a way of turning up in church, dressing very nicely. Right? So you're going to do more than that. And this morning we want to go through the list of some of the things that we look for when we are trying to find the right person. Dr. Latia, go ahead.
If I must go to what you asked earlier, because we have two different discussions on the table right now.
Yes.
Powerful question, and also, but I want to touch on what you just asked, you know. I think the response to that question you asked is, we ought to be the right person to be brought to the table. Who am I first?
Yes.
And we can't begin a relationship and we go in with expectations without knowing who we are first. How prepared am I for a relationship? How prepared am I to live with somebody else? Yeah? How prepared am I to understand what pertains in life that I'm going to? So we cannot go into having a relationship unless we know who we're bringing to the table first. And that's
meaning yourself.
Me
Yes,
first,
yourself.
not who this person is.
Yes.
Who am I bringing to the table? And how prepared is this person to come to the table?
I like the sound of that.
Yeah. and building on that, you know, folks listening out there, I probably would want to start off by saying, choosing the right person or choosing a successful spouse, maybe that's a better term to use, is not a science. It is really, really not a science. That's one. Number two, we have had no formal instructions on this matter. Right? There's not a single class in our formal education system that really teaches us how to what to look for, how to choose. We're just thrown out there and expect to swim. But I've found that those individuals who have made good choices, there are a number of factors that contribute to the ability to make good choice, even before we look at the factors that we'll look for in a spouse. But factors such as your age, right? A person's age, the things that a individual look for in a spouse, it depends on what age that person is. For example, those who are older look at different things than those who are younger. You look at your status in life. It look at your station in life. It looks at your values and your upbringing and a number of other factors.
And the way that you communicate.
A number of different
present
factors
yourself.
come together to determine who we choose. So it's not a one size fit all. So even though we may share some tips this morning as some of the critical things you look out for, these have to be taken within the context of where you are in life in determining who you choose. Yep.
I just want to, it's very tempting what Dr. Lattish shared just now.
Yeah.
And I find it so powerful because we have a lot of older women getting ready after they have acquired higher education for that, looking for that partner. At that point in time, they would have established certain habits and routines, which they will find challenging as they navigate this new life.
Yes.
And so I see where having an understanding of who you are is so critical.
Yeah.
And sometimes we cannot really fully appreciate or understand who we are without some guidance.
Yeah.
And so even before you get to the premarital counseling, it becomes important to do some counseling for yourself to establish who you are and to help you to identify your values and what it is that you're looking for in a spouse. Getting ready then for that next step.
So Sophia, that's a very new and interesting concept. The idea of getting some self-counseling before you start a relationship. Here's what is interesting. So those of us who have done the doctoral level in psychology, I know Dr. Lati can identify this. I had to do the same thing. Part of the requirement to do this course, we had to do personal counseling before you can be a counselor to somebody else, because there may be some stuff in your background that will come out negatively or may trigger you in the session. And so you had to work through those issues before you can complete the course in psychology.
So you do no harm.
So you do no harm, precisely. So no. As you spoke, I said to myself, that's interesting. Maybe that's something we could recommend. That as part of the preparation for successful relationship, that you yourself begin with some counseling. Interesting. Very interesting.
I must let you know.
Yeah.
I made a self-discovery for me.
Okay.
Just away at the doctoral level,
Yes.
I discovered something about me. And I'm afraid of lizards, right?
Yeah. Oh, you are.
I know other persons.
It's not as bad as before.
I know other persons who are afraid at even looking at the picture.
I wasn't so bad. Right? But just through an assignment, I got an assignment.
Yeah.
It's it was self-evaluation or something like that. And you had to go way back. And I discovered two things. I discovered why it is that I have to get good grades. Not just good grades, please. Why is it that I have to have an A? And if it's not there, I see it as failure. And it has to do, I found out that I had been flogged. Those days they used to flog you for getting a perfect score. And the teacher, for math, and she took off point something, and she lined us up usually, and she would just beat. And she says, you of all persons, you should know where to put this decimal point. I took the point off, a fraction of a point, and she flogged me. My point is, then I grew feeling that this is always what I had to do.
Yes.
I had to be perfect.
Yes.
So this is just Jermaine here.
Yes.
You know.
Very good. Excellent point.
Absolutely,
Excellent
yes.
point. Excellent point. So,
And so you get to learn more about
You
yourself.
have to learn
Yes.
as you go along.
so I want to share since
Hold on. Well,
Yes.
that point is so powerful that I had to stop there as well. So you're saying, Sophia, based on what you're saying, many persons who are even married might need to go back and do that.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
that would be helpful.
Yes.
Because
powerful.
probably you weren't ready to be.
Go back and check it out.
I had to go find out.
And the next point is
Pastor, allow me, Doc. Not only that you were not ready doing, but we are always changing
Yes.
and learning and growing. So it becomes necessary as you make these adjustments.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. You were saying.
very, very, very good points. So as we focus the attention then this morning on helping individuals who may be out there listening, because there are many times individual express the frustration. I don't want to make the choice. I've made so many bad choices.
Yes.
I'm scared of making any more choices. I wish somebody would choose for me and just give me the verse because I don't trust myself to make any more choices. I think we probably can raise a few areas that you may want to examine. I, for one, break them down into two categories. One which I consider to be the objective features that everybody should look for.
Mm.
And then there are some subjective elements that apply to you. Yeah. And I think we can probably look at some of these. For me, I think one of the major mistakes that some individuals make is that they make choices of a life partner based on their current needs. Yeah, this is very important.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, based on their current needs.
And those needs change.
And those needs change, and that's where the problem comes on the road,
Yeah.
right? So given the current set of needs that a person has, anybody who or somebody who is able to fill those needs will look good in the person's eye.
At that time.
At that
this
time, precisely.
yes.
This person will look like the best, like the Lord send this person straight from heaven, because this person is filling all the current needs. What they don't know is that needs change, right? Like Maslow in his hierarchy of needs.
Yes.
When the basic needs are met, we go to the higher level. If that person cannot meet the higher level needs, then we begin to have a strain in the relationship.
Yes.
Right? And suddenly that person is not fulfilling anymore, and then we have a problem. And so it's like a person who is hungry, all right? If you're starving, you're likely to pick up anything you see. You may not be into fast food, but if Kentucky or Burger King or any one of those stores is available, right? you will go for it, right? And apply that to relationships. People do the very same thing, and then you realize after a while, after your fill, you realize, I don't think this is really what I want. This is not me. I don't know how I end up here. So I want to suggest that we avoid making decisions based on our current needs and look beyond that. So some of the objective features you may want to look at then, for me, one of the, apart from the cosmetics of women looking for somebody who is tall, dark, and I don't know if that stuff still go around.
Physical appearance.
That's very cosmetic, physical appearance, or men looking for somebody who is sexy and those are not features that will determine whether a person is a good choice or not. You got to go well deeper than that, right? So one of the things you want to look for me, critical, somebody who is respectful.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's open that one. Somebody who is because I don't think much people pay attention to these things. Somebody who is respectful.
How do you think crave that more, male or female?
Both. Both.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I could
There's
tell
not
you
a more.
something. I could tell you something. That is the number one list on a male's.
Yeah.
It stands out for men.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will vocalize it more,
Yeah.
but it's both.
Yes.
Because you don't want to be in a situation where you're feeling belittled,
No.
whether male or female.
Yeah.
Yes. And if that is lacking, I would see it as a big
Right.
red flag.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
not going to go far.
Sure.
You know?
So
Right.
if you're looking for a life partner, you're not looking for a temporary assignment. You're looking for a life partner. You definitely need somebody who will be respectful of your feelings, and this is
Yes.
something for
Yes.
women, right?
Emotion.
Yes, this is a
Yes.
key thing for women. A person who will be respectful of their feelings, right?
Yes.
The last thing you want is to have a man who does not respect your feelings, right? A person who respects your opinions.
Yes.
Yes.
That's another major. So when I talk about respectful, we can go down the list because these are the issues that turn up
Yes.
in relational problems.
And respect is going to go so far. It's going to go in the way we speak to each other, the communication
Yes.
we have.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, the kind of listening we do, the way we, how we appear in the discussion. You know.
Yep.
Do you have a say or do you not have a say? Are you lectured?
Yeah,
That's also disrespectful.
precisely.
To be lecturing, right?
How you use your language, how you communicate.
Yes, and your facial expression, your body language in general. All of this can convey, disrespect. Yeah.
And
How
so-
you respect my boundaries.
This is the next one, your boundaries. When we talk about respectful, you respect my boundaries.
Yes.
If I set, and for people who are dating, these are the cues you look for. If I set boundaries, is this person tearing down these boundaries?
Yes.
Is this person pushing against the limit, or are these persons respecting those boundaries? Those are
And
insight.
pushing against the limit, whether aggressively or subtly.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Because
Exactly.
sometimes the person can push against the limit subtly
Yes.
until it, what them say,
Wears you down?
wears it down.
Where's it down?
True.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. And so you who set the boundaries too need to uphold the boundaries.
Yes.
Right? You shouldn't be breaking your boundaries.
Precisely.
Right?
Precisely.
Just a little
Yep.
thing on the boundaries though is for individuals to understand that the boundary actually is you saying, modeling or portraying how you want to be treated.
Yes.
Yeah? And so that should be respected. How
Yes.
you want to be treated. Both ways. So we listen and we come to a consensus on that.
So if you're just joining us, we're discussing choosing the right persons here on Family Matters this morning. If you want to join in the conversation, Dwayne, that number is
945
945 9029.
Yeah.
Right. So we're talking about deep stuff here. One of the things, and if you're dating, if you're in a relationship, you really want to look out for people who are respectful of your feelings. We said respectful of your boundaries, respectful of your opinion, respectful of your property. That's another issue, yes. Yeah.
There's a question just came in. Are these counselors availing themselves to share with other churches?
And the answer to that is yes.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Yes. In fact, I do have an appointment with the West Bay New Testament Church next week, Tuesday, as a matter of fact, to share with your couples over there. So the guys in West Bay coming over to you, West Bay New Testament Church, next week Tuesday at their couples evening. So yes, so key points, right? Respectful of your space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
You wanna join them?
because you come in the relationship as individuals first,
Yes.
even though we merge, right? And there is no reason for us to lose our individuality.
Right.
So we should also continue to have our space. Yeah? You don't have to be going to the bathroom and you don't have to be accompanied to the bathroom. That's invasion of space.
Yeah.
No. I mean, right?
Yeah.
Unless
And
you
some
have an
persons
open
think-
door policy.
And so you need to have a space to be able to relate to your family as well.
Yes.
You extend your friends as well. Okay, if you're not going overboard with that. And this must be an understanding that I am an individual first. I'm married to you, but I should not lose myself
Yes.
in you
Yeah.
or lose my individuality in an effort to make this go, which is going to stagnate the relationship.
And
if
that's
I'm
what
losing it.
drew you both together in the first place. So
That's
you need to
correct.
maintain that.
That's correct.
Excellent point.
Additionally, as it relates to boundary, there are some persons, because of the distortion that has developed because of how they were socialized early in life, may see that as, oh, the person is loving on me, they love me so much that they care about me, that they would want to, because you have some people who think that if I'm not beaten, if I'm
don't
not
love
abused
me.
in some way, then the person doesn't love me.
Yeah.
So could we speak to that a little about when you talk about setting boundaries, respecting my boundary,
Yes.
respecting my space,
Yeah.
sort of thing?
That is
That is big.
that's misguided love.
It's not love.
Yeah,
So you
that-
say
that-
it's not a love
No,
language?
that's
love.
not love.
It's not a love language.
No.
I want to be beaten.
Yeah.
It's not a love
That's
language.
not
That's not love, no.
Yes, that's
It is
Let me
something else
just
called
give out the
power and
numbers again.
control or something.
945 9029 945 9029. Or send me a WhatsApp 517 1122. So beating me is not a love language.
how
No,
about
that's
how about
abusive.
Valentine's Day is tomorrow? So my gift for you, my love gift for you,
Is to
It's
is
a black eye.
beating. Does that make sense to you? Absolutely not.
No, that's
but,
hate.
But then the point
I
is,
see a black eye
but the
for
point is a
Valentine's.
germane point, because some people who are orientated in certain areas, I'm for one, I'm very much aware that there are certain areas in Kingston, for example, in the inner city areas where that's a culture, that's a Danmanism
Beats me
culture.
or love me.
So if the Dan man has 3 or 4 girlfriends, the one he beats is the one that is perceived to be the most loved, right? Or else he wouldn't be beating me.
Yeah.
And so others wouldn't mind taking the beating, so that
They would be his
they would be,
favorite.
which is really really twisted and thwarted concept
Yes.
of love.
Yes.
Really, absolutely not. Love does not
That's
harm.
power and control.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
about the person who showers you with gifts, and the person is constantly wanting to know what you're up to, wanting to check up on you, but it comes across in a way as if they're caring. So they give you gifts, they give you attention, but at the back end of that is that they are wanting to constantly check up on you. Isn't that love?
No.
No, what's the motive? If the motive therefore is not love. The motive is a means of control.
It is.
Yeah. And some
Power.
people will use that as a means of control. That's like your dog. You don't want your dog to go to next door, so you feed them to keep them. Yeah, that's a means of control. The motive is the motive is what spoiled the whole aspect of it. And some people behave just like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you really
Manipulative.
yes.
Yes.
And by the way, the
Yes.
problem with that is that in the beginning it doesn't look so, right?
Exactly.
It takes
Never
some time
starts
before
that
the person
way.
realize that, okay, no, this is not wrong. All right. It's a deceptive mode, really.
And I must add, sir, that that's a big red flag, though. You know,
Yeah, huge.
from the get go.
Huge.
And if this continues, if you see, let us say this person's very lovey-dovey, have the pretty part, what you just described, you can look out. I don't think it can go beyond 6 months that you will not begin to see the true
Probably,
colors
yeah.
coming out. Yeah, and earlier too, but
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you so we look at one of the objective features, that is being respectful.
Yes.
Another major one is good morals.
values.
Yes, good. You want to look for somebody whose moral compass is intact.
Yes.
Right? Very, very important. And it's tested greatly when we are dating, right? That's the testing grounds for the good morals. So a person with good morals, you're dating somebody with good morals, it means that you expect the relationship to be clean.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
The person has good good values,
Yes.
yes,
Attitude.
good attitude, good standard,
Law abiding.
law abiding.
Yes.
Yes, they know your value, right? And again, come back to the respect here again, and they are willing to respect
Yes.
your value, and they must have a set of value that you're
Themselves.
supposed to know also,
Yes.
and you keep those value systems in place. It's hard for me to see how you can go wrong if you are maintaining those boundaries. Dr. Lati.
Just on the same point, that is why we need to go on dates. That is why dating is important.
Yes.
When we go on dates, we are able to see qualities coming out, especially when have you noticed playing a game, your true self comes out. You're
Yep.
playing a game,
Yep.
your true qualities come out, right? And you can identify the person's values and how they behave. And
So you're
how they
suggesting that dates don't only mean sitting down together at dinner?
No.
No, it is
It is also seeing how they behave around the table.
It is designed for those of you young people out there.
Yes.
Dating is not designed to have some fun, Fun will come. It is designed for you to observe.
Yes, and learn.
Yes,
how the
it is
other
designed for you to observe this person under different situations.
Yes.
So that's what dating is.
Yes, sir. That's
Correct.
designed for you to observe. You have fun in the process, right?
Yeah.
Not everybody has fun. Some people, that was horrible. but the purpose is for you to observe and learn. Dating is a learning experience. It's
Yes.
an observing experience to decide, okay, is this the type of person I want to go further with? Or this is
right.
where I catch the reverse gear and get out?
Correct.
So what is a common mistake then? You'd find persons who decide that this is the right person, so I go on date.
No. No.
You understand?
Yeah. That's the
Back way.
back ways. Yeah, that's
Dating is exploration.
Yes. And
dating
so-
is designed to find the right person.
Yes.
Yeah, it is exploratory. So,
So you have an idea
right.
how they operate, how they speak, the respect is going to come out.
Yeah.
Yes.
And especially after a time when you get so used to them, it is going to naturally flow the true persons they are. Are they kind? Are they really, negative? What are they talking about?
Right.
They will be talking about maybe some weird stuff. Or what do they talk about while they're eating?
And I would suggest, Dr. Lati, to anybody listening out there, one date may not be enough.
No.
Hear me out on this one. One date may be. I need to correct this. One date may be enough for you to say no, but one date is not enough for you to say yes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Man,
Correct.
yeah. One date may be enough for you to say, hell no. I ain't going no further with this
way.
person. I've seen enough, right? But one date, Sophie, is not enough for you to say yes. In other words, if this date was good and all seems well, you still need another couple of dates because the revelation is not going to come out in the first date. On the first date, we are going to be on our P's and our
Best
Q's
behavior.
and our
behavior.
best behavior. And, well, we speak well, we dress well, we have all the courtesies. So that first date is not, you can't use that to say yes. However, you can use it to say no, because if we are on our best behavior and the best behavior is not cutting it, then you don't expect anything better down the road.
That's right.
So take note of that. Don't use a one date to say, yeah, well, this is the person. You're really going to need to get a couple more dates. So we're talking about individuals who have good morals, and you'll pick up those in the dates. All right,
Yes.
you set your
Yes.
boundaries. This person will not cause you to sin. This person will not cause you to be shameful. This person will not engage you into things that you feel guilty about. This person will make you feel free, make you feel happy, make you feel contented. This is what I about safety in this relationship. So let me move to safety then. The third big thing you want to look for. Somebody who is safe to be with. Wow, I wonder what that means. Anyone not sure that? Yeah. You're looking for a spouse, you're looking for somebody who is safe to be with. Yeah.
Yes, so
Yeah.
it gives you a sense of security.
Number one,
Yes.
gives you a sense of security.
and a sense of belonging.
Yes.
You feel comfortable.
That's correct.
Happy.
I guess everything that you covered in the first part of
Yes.
this, speaking
Yes.
about the morals,
Respectful.
the respectfulness, the mannerism, all of that.
But here's the big item in this one.
Mhm.
Trust.
Trust.
Trust. You can.
Honesty.
Some people say, I didn't see that. Yeah, some of these trust issues are.
Yes.
They have always been there.
Yes.
But we overlook them because maybe they're minor.
love.
Right. Precisely. Trust is such, especially both for men and women.
Yes.
The relationship can never be happy if it does not have a requisite level of
trust.
trust.
Yes, that goes along with honesty.
That and honesty, right? So if you're dating a person and you sense that you can't trust this person, whatever gives you that little
Punch.
intuition, that I can't trust this person, then trust that intuition, right?
And trust, I would suggest, is not just in terms of fidelity.
No,
Infinite.
no. In a number of other things, right?
Yeah, just
Because
like what
because
Dr.
a lot of
Lackey said,
persons
yeah.
narrow down trust
To
to just
infidelity.
infidelity.
And that is why they miss it during
Yes.
dating.
Yes, yes.
Right?
That's correct.
That's why they miss it during dating, because it's broader. Right? It has in different aspects of trust. Here is one of the things that stands out for me with a safe person. A person who is always right is not a safe person to be with. No. Write that down. Right?
If you're driving, just remember it.
A person who is always right, because it means you are always
Never
wrong.
right.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that's not a safe person to be with, right?
Yeah.
A safe person to be with is a person who recognizes that they are wrong and they can be
Yes.
wrong,
Yes.
and accept they're wrong. Because when a person realizes that he
And
or
admit
she-
that
and
they're
admit
wrong.
that they're
Admit.
wrong, yeah. When you realize that you are wrong and
It
you
shows
admit you're
respect.
wrong, it shows a lot respect
Yes.
for the
Yes,
person,
yes.
and it allows you to volunteer an apology.
That's
Yes.
true.
A person who's always right never apologizes.
Never apologizes.
Why?
Never.
Because he has nothing to apologize.
Exactly.
I'm not wrong.
I want you to say he or she.
He or she. If you're just joining us, we are on Family Matters this morning here in Georgetown, Grand Cayman. We're discussing choosing the right person, looking at some of the features that we are to look at one day before Valentine's. If you have that on your table this day, 945-9029 is
Or
the
send
number
us
to
a
call.
WhatsApp 517-1122.
Yep. So, doing you're making this.
I was saying, a lot of times when we look at, and I'm not being sexist, but a lot of times that when we look at some aggressive roles or aggressive flaws in relationship, like Pastor Connor, we tend to say he.
Mhm.
But a lot of times, if that's a male thing, it seems like sometimes women have enough testosterone to be like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there are some women who are like that.
Yes.
And sometimes, from a psychological piece, sometimes it also comes with their personality.
Yes. Yes.
Right? There are
Yes.
some personalities that tend to feel that they're always right. Right?
Yes.
Especially some of those choleric personalities, they tend to feel that they're always right. An apology for them is huge. They
Yes,
don't like
yes.
to apologize.
And it can be triggered by
Yeah.
insecurities. It can be triggered by
Childhood trauma.
Yeah.
trauma. Yes.
And the experiences that they've had
Yes,
before.
yes, yes.
That's
Okay.
must be taken into consideration.
Here's another one. And we talk about the objective features, right? Here's another
What do you
one.
mean when you say objective
That
features?
everybody would love for to have these features in the person.
Especially once it creates happiness
Right.
in their
Right. This is what everybody ought to look for. These are some of the
Right, because
the
if I don't know what
characteristics.
objective is, I
Yeah,
don't know what you're talking about.
Precisely. How about honesty?
So they go hand in hand. With
So the person may be very sexy looking, dressed nicely, and
Handsome,
and maybe handsome, taller than-
muscular.
Yes.
But honesty is not on part of their forte.
Strong fingers.
and it doesn't mean being blatant with it, you know.
No,
and it's
it means
like
subtle.
omission.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're not going to be sharing. Some people are very closed.
Yes.
and they're very secretive, we say,
Yeah.
right? And so these persons, I'd call it dishonest, if that's what I call it, if there are some important things to be understood in this relationship.
Yeah. So
My lips are sealed.
Yes. In other
and
words,
you talk about everything else, but not that. So I think that is being dishonest.
So
For
are
me,
you
that's
are
what I
you
think.
saying stuff like, so did you remove, I'm just saying for argument's sake, did you remove the lamp? Do you think I removed the lamp?
Oh, yes.
Good example.
Yes.
I thought
Why
I
would you
told
say-
you that I moved the lamp,
Yes.
but the person didn't.
No, or what makes you think I removed the lamp?
they
Did you remove the lamp?
they
Oh, me
scout
to respond
around
is-
rather
Yes.
than
Yes.
coming.
Yes.
This
Oh, why
this,
would I
Counter
move this lamp?
questions.
By the way, why would you think I...
Yes,
this
yes.
is a very important subject
Yes, yes.
because again, during dating process,
Yes.
courtship process, you're able to identify series of dishonest behavior and patterns. If you spot these things, those are huge red flags. All right. Dishonesty doesn't mean that the person outright lies,
Yes,
right? But the person could have chosen not to share information that they ought to have shared,
Yes.
and then say, "Oh, you didn't ask me."
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
For example, you're dating a person, and the person has a child or a couple of children down the road, and that is information that you're expected to share. To keep that and to move into a marriage and marry the person, and then say, well, the person discovers that down the road and say, well, you didn't ask me. If you'd asked me, I would have told you. That's not okay. No, that's not okay. Honesty says,
not openness.
that's not openness,
Yes.
right? That's not transparency. Honesty and openness and transparency. You know, there are some stuff about me you may not know.
Yes.
And I think since we are taking this step,
This is what comes with the package.
yes, this is what comes with the package, and I think it's appropriate for you to know. Can you imagine you hearing that from the person you're dating? That makes the person look so good in front of
Very
your
big.
eyes because
Yes.
because you feel you can trust this person,
Yeah.
even though the content of what you're hearing may not be
Not
too
so
happy,
pleasant,
be
yeah,
too
yeah.
pleasant. But the fact that they're willing to share that openly to
Yes.
you, right?
Yeah.
It allows you to say, okay, this person is a person I can trust. Honesty is so important in relationship.
You know, I would have imagined that in many relationships where you would have seen persons brought down, especially for white collar crimes, some wives are noticing that or experiencing that for the very, very first time. They would never know that their husband was in that, or
Yes.
the husband would never know. And it's just like, it's embarrassing. It's just hard to deal with.
So the cure for
So,
that.
so you're home, and you look on television, on the breaking news, and you see your spouse
What?
being taken away.
Yeah, that's hard to deal with.
That's hard to deal
Yes.
with.
Oh, yes.
And I'm sure the signs, if you had taken note, the signs were there.
Yes.
So the warning is don't overlook these. You see when we're in love?
And begin
When we
early.
just fall in love and we
Yes.
feel a
Yes.
passion, man, we negotiate away all these values.
Because the
Yeah.
blindfolds you.
And sometimes we want the relationship so badly. Again, come back to the need.
Yeah.
Reason for the relationship.
Yes, we want the relationship so badly that we negotiate all away. Yeah, I see this, but
It's going to change.
it's going to change. Yeah. You never do that.
Or I
Absolutely.
can change him.
Or I can
Oh,
change it.
that's
Yes,
worse.
precisely. You never do that. So here's another one for those of you who are contemplating choosing a spouse or you're in the process right now. This one is, again, very interesting. Both for male and female, it is so important that you look for somebody with a nurturing nature.
Affection.
Yeah. Go
Affection.
ahead. Nurturing nature, whether
That
it's a
is-
male or a female. Go ahead, Dr. Lang.
That is an emotional need.
Yes.
And I believe, and I categorize it if affectionate.
Yes.
Yeah. That touches the soul, and it tells you, I don't know if it spells love, but it spells that there is somebody who cares about me.
Yes.
That is touching on romance. It is touching on feeling valued.
Yes.
And special in this individual's eyes. And so it can be it will be reciprocated.
Yes.
And it should be reciprocated. And so that is very important.
Because
affection.
You want to know that in this marriage, if anything happens to you, the person you say
there.
I do to is there and
Yes.
is willing to care for you.
Yes.
Right? Not to just abandon you and not care for you. So in dating stuff, you really want to look for little signs of the person being cared. They call and they check up on you. They ensure that all the bases are covered. They look out for you.
Yes.
They stand up for you. Things that you go ahead.
And I'll add, it is not only the things they do, but how they speak to you. You can feel it. How they care about your emotions.
Yes.
How they care about what you're saying and what you're feeling. How they can empathize with you, and get into your world and feel it with you.
There you go.
Yes.
They care
that is
about
high
your,
level.
they care about your well-being.
Yes.
They care about your future, your plans, your
That's
aspirations, your whole package.
Recreational needs.
Recreational
yes.
needs. Yep.
They play
Yep.
with you,
Yep.
even if they don't like what
Yep.
it is, that the game that they like.
Yeah.
Just be supportive. And when the person, I know she doesn't like, or he doesn't like cricket, or he doesn't like this game, but yet there is this togetherness on it. And you have, sometimes, I'm talking experientially now, right? That my husband was an avid footballer.
Really?
Right? What?
Yes.
Yes, man. He's in those leagues and so on from your college days. But what happens, I never really liked it. But
That's why I
would
didn't
go.
make it to World Cup.
But I would actually go to when he's
Yep.
to the game.
Yes.
Listen to me, I'm his biggest cheerleader.
Yeah. That's why you're
I
still,
didn't like it.
That's why you're still married. That's why.
Right. So my
It
point
is.
is yes. So what we're saying is that is also a part of it.
Yeah.
That's being
Yeah.
affectionate.
Very,
that is
very.
entering into what the person likes and enjoys.
Extremely important, because when the person has a nurturing and a caring and an affectionate feature,
Yeah.
you'll get help. You'll get help with different things in the house. You'll get help with the children if you're a woman.
Yes.
You'll get help if you're on the job as a man and you need her help. If she's concerning and caring, those are critical features that you look for in a relationship.
And I just want to add that at the start, with that euphoria, usually you have that support, but does it wane after a while?
So
you
that's
need to look out for that.
Yeah.
That can be a potential red flag.
Yes.
Yes.
That is if it was not. You see,
Genuine.
that's a very good point. Can I just say a word on that? In the dating process, right? That's why we don't marry during the dating process. Let me say that one more time. That's why we do not marry during the dating process, because the dating process is observable, is the test to determine whether we marry this person or not. So during the dating process, it is very likely that all of us who are trying to impress will be caring and loving, and we go beyond the measure. We climb every mountain.
60 meters.
60
Not long distance.
but is it sustainable?
That's it.
You determine that by one of the ways to determine that is by the length of the dating period. That's why we require you don't rush through the dating period, because you cannot pretend for too long.
Exactly.
That's right.
You can't pretend. If you notice, man, you're dating for a year or 2 years, right? And then after a while, you notice it's waning. When you realize, okay, because the more we get used to each other, that's the problem, when we get used to, I'm going to use this term, when we get used to,
Our true selves.
our true selves start to emerge.
Emerges.
Right?
Yes.
Then that's when you want that phase to take place before you marry.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So if you marry during the dating, you're marrying the pseudo self, as we call it in psychology. You're not marrying the real self.
Right.
You're marrying the pretense, the pretender, right? And so when you go over into marriage, where we no longer need to pretend,
Doesn't live
then
here anymore.
when you wake up to the following day after marriage, it's a different self that you have. So
Can't
that-
find the person I got married.
can't find the person you got married. So that is-
Question though.
Yeah.
Question though. What if the person was genuine or is genuine.
Mm-hmm.
But as the relationship goes on, he's tired or she's tired of doing the same thing over and over. And
The same thing.
Or let me just say, stop doing the
There's no
things.
spice,
Stop doing the things that he or she would do to make the person happy.
And
Or-
that's where
or
you
the
test
person-
the love, Dwayne.
or the person doesn't enjoy those things anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me help you with let me
change.
help you with that, Dwayne.
I can't help myself with that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
One of the contributing factors to that is when the person is providing all of these, but it is not reciprocated.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
When it is not reciprocated or is
Yes.
not received warmly or is not even appreciated or
Yes.
recognized, and the person
Mundane.
just give up. Okay?
Yes.
And that happens many times in which a person just decide to give up because it's not reciprocated, it's not appreciated, and person says, you know what, I am not bothering myself anymore with that. And so when you reach that stage, that relationship needs some help.
Yes.
Yeah, it needs
Yes.
some. It really needs some help.
Little injection.
Because then the person who is giving up is going to shut down. Then the other party now
Just
is
wake up.
is going to wake up and say, and then accuse this person. You're not the same person that I married. You used to do this. You used to do this. But the reason why I don't do it anymore is because X, Y. And we are on to some explosive experience in the marriage. So that relationship needs
Needs a
help.
vaccine.
Yes, it needs.
Oh, yes.
needs help.
That's right.
Needs
That's
help.
right.
Okay.
And I suggest that when that happens in a marriage or in a relationship, you seek help before it reaches too far.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it's good to bring surprises in your relationship. Like, I mean, my wife didn't know that I baked until about 6 years.
Yeah, that's
now.
a good surprise.
Probably about 6 years in the relationship, in the marriage.
Yeah.
She didn't know.
Right. But what I heard you say, though, it is that this thing is mundane. This thing is just the same thing over and over and
Yes,
over
yes,
again.
yes.
I'm not hearing creativity.
Yes,
I'm not
yes.
hearing any new injection, as
Yes,
we were saying. So we need to make sure that we take care and
Yes.
put some new stuff in the marriage. We do variety is the spice of life too. And we cannot cook. There's peas and there's rice.
Yeah.
But listen, man, they can't
There's
do
rice and peas
every
Yeah.
single
They
day.
can be stew peas and rice.
Yes, man. Change it around, and do things differently.
But-
Put some spice in.
That's in the marriage stage,
Yeah.
right? But how do you ensure that these things will be
Maintain 'em.
present from a courting level?
No, if in a courting level you start to wane,
Yeah.
that's red flag.
That's good. That's good for it to win there.
Yeah, it's good for it to win. That's a good place for it to win. Precisely.
Excellent.
Yeah,
You,
that's
you'd
a,
have
so you're not
found, you'd
go-
have found out.
yes.
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 Yeah.
That is a great thing when you've found out.
Yeah.
Yes.
But when it is that you go in the dark and put the what do you call it over your face?
Blindfold.
The blindfold over
Yes.
your eyes. You
Only
see
be-
this stuff
Only because you want this relationship.
because yes.
Yeah. That's a
Even though you see that, then
So you
it's gonna
see
be-
all the red flags.
yes.
And this is to my question again. When we just started, God will provide and God has plans.
Not like
Alright?
that.
And so you have this strange, I don't know, encounter. You dreamt that, well, you prayed and said, Lord, when I go to church this week, the first man or woman who comes and shake my hand,
Yes.
let that be my husband.
Yeah.
And so the person come and shake your hand.
Oh boys,
And-
God answers.
God answered your prayer.
Yeah. I don't know that it works that way. But there are some people who believe that.
Yes.
I don't know that it
Yes.
works that way.
Yes, yes.
I think and just before our time runs out, I think one of the other key factors doing that
Yes.
one has to look for, apart from this stuff that we talk about.
Yes.
If we could pick up a piece of this subjective piece, is connectivity.
Yes, yes.
The person needs to connect with you at different levels.
Yes.
This is so important.
Should you able to be friends?
You got to be
To
here.
be
Here's my motto.
Yes.
You must.
Successful marriages are based, in my opinion, on this motto. We must be friends
First.
before we become lovers.
That's right.
Okay, okay.
You marry your friend,
Yes, yes.
right?
Yes.
Not your lover. You marry your friend.
Yes.
So the relationship is the foundation of the relationship is friendship.
Yes.
The minute you don't, there are people who are lovers but they're not friends.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's a recipe for problem down the road. right?
Shaky
Yeah,
ground,
that's
shaky
really
ground.
really shaky one. So you really want to marry your friend. You want to be able to connect on emotional levels. We connect emotionally. We connect intellectually. We connect spiritually. See, those are levels to which you want to connect on, so that when you're in a relationship with that person, you feel safe, you feel happy, you feel contented, you don't feel strained. You don't go into a discussion as you're the only one talking because the person has nothing else to say, right?
You
Right?
cannot enter.
And yeah, so you really have to have that emotional piece as well, that you feel it within yourself that this is the person, and when you look at all the other attributes that we talk about, they are in place. It's a tough job.
Yeah.
It is a tough
work.
job.
It's
That's
a
why
tough
it takes
job.
time.
It's,
It's
a tough job
it's a
if you
tough job.
didn't start with the right foundation.
If you didn't start with the right
No,
foundation.
even when you start with the
Yeah.
right foundation, it's a tough job.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
They're two
Because
different
it's two
individuals
different, right?
from two different backgrounds, from with
They come with
different
different baggages,
experiences.
different,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I find that,
Affinities.
I mean, for me, I don't have a lot of needs, to be honest with you.
Sometimes we deny them.
No, I know I don't have a lot of needs. Right?
Just checking.
Don't embarrass me.
Okay.
That's one.
That's not one.
Major.
That's major.
Respect.
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 Yes.
Yeah. Respect. And just value me.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Validation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You want to be affirmed. You want to be.
Yeah. So Kate and I, we if I come up on a funny video, she's the first person I will send it to. And she will share it with me. Like we will text or
because
call.
she's your friend.
Because she's my friend.
Yes,
Friend.
that's the point.
Yes.
Some years ago, probably 10 years ago, a little more than that, I had a major accident. And I remember before the accident or after the accident, she was calling around for me. She was calling me, not getting me. She called the office. And so whenever I hear, like, if something just happens or I hear a siren,
Yeah.
I take up my phone. Just a call.
Yeah.
And I remember one evening, and more than one time, I called her office and I didn't call. I called her cell phone and didn't get her. And I drove to her workplace.
Ooh.
And I'm talking just recently.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I will still do that because of the my personal experience.
Experience. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that came up earlier.
And that suggests the value and the care and
Yes.
the importance of that person in your life.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what we're doing.
Yes.
It's very, very important stuff. One last thing, a tip I would like to give. You know, when you go to open a bank account,
Yes.
they ask you for so many pieces of documents, serious documentation. People even run background checks.
Yes.
Right? We do background checks for everything. One of the worst things that you can do is to decide to marry somebody
Without getting medical record.
without doing their background checks.
Background.
Do your homework.
Medical record.
Yes.
I'm I'm just saying it.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
saying,
yes,
yes.
Listen to me, right? I remember years ago, probably in the 90s, I heard Bishop Harold Blair
Yes.
preaching. And he said, no man is going to come into my church.
Yes.
I'm married to one of my girls here in a year.
In a year. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with him.
He said reasons why. He had this girl in his church Girl kept herself. She was a virgin. Got married to this brother. And on their honeymoon, she got AIDS.
Ooh. Oh. Yeah.
Terminal.
That's sad.
Sad, yeah.
So
Those are the things we talk about.
So even if you accept Jesus
Yeah.
and you just got baptized, and you baptized and he didn't wash, he washed your sins away, but you're
The baptismal water doesn't wash away the AIDS, right? And many other diseases,
yes.
right? And that is why, again, we started there. We probably end there.
Yes.
For those of you who are in church, do not make that decision totally. Of course, the person being a faithful Christian is a
That's
key
key.
factor. Yes,
Yes.
it's a key
God
factor.
comes first.
But it cannot be the determining factor.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You really need to do your background check.
Yes.
Because who we are a product of our experience,
Yes.
a product of our history.
Yes.
Yes,
Right?
I'm so sorry I have to
Yeah.
push this in, but we cannot, as not we, individuals who want to get married should take into consideration the background and also to know that they cannot change the individual. They have no power to change the individual. And let us see one of these individuals as having depression, not depression, any psychopathology. I would say.
Different, yeah?
I didn't want to call it. Okay, mental illness in any form, in any of its forms. I don't think the individual should say, oh, let me go on with this. Let us ensure that we take care of it. Not that you can change it, but love enough to take care of it because it can wreak havoc in your experience. And I'm not talking about, well, there are some that have a more difficulty in changing and working on more long term. So we need to make sure of that. Like some of those kind of delusions of jealousy.
Yes.
You know, that jealousy is not just ordinary jealousy.
Like
right?
bipolar kind of thing.
Yes, but I'm saying jealousy. Some of them are delusional with it, meaning ill, sick. They say they saw you doing something that is really conjured in here.
Oh,
and it
wow.
did not happen.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's another topic for another day, really. But we need to be mindful of the background.
Yes.
And that
In
might come
general.
with violence.
Yeah.
Of course, yes.
It's an interesting topic,
Of
you know.
course.
Mental health and the one I love.
Yes. Yes.
That's interesting. That's an interesting topic.
Final words as we wrap up.
I just want to make us all aware of some workshops that we're doing at the Institute for Essential Care, 59 McLegan Drive. And it is the effective strategies for managing behavior of my autistic child and youth, and that comes on Monday, February 24, in person, 5:30 to 7, and we have an online version February 26. But if you want to be accredited CE units, then you have to do the in-person.
Could you
And
just
this-
say that the topic and the date again?
Effective strategies for managing behavior of my autistic child and teen. This is specifically for educators, parents, caregivers, and other professionals who would need this kind of training, because you want to look at what is autism, how does it impact my child, my teen, my young adult in the learning environment and in their ability to socialize. Very powerful. Additionally, we are doing some cyber workshops. This one is called Online Crime, Cybercrime Behavior and Online Victimization Trends. February 25 at 5 p.m. again at the Institute for Essential Care, 59 McLegan Drive. Digital dementia comes your way March 4 at 5 p.m. And this one that speaks to communication, look at me. How does smart device affect our ability to socialize, to communicate?
Interesting.
That one is March 24. March 24 at 5 p.m. You don't want to miss them.
I know we're really out of time, and I know you guys have to go, but this message came in that I really think needs addressing. How do you handle the person who has mastered the art of all that you have said? Maybe they have done psychology. Maybe the person is a psychologist in some way. Maybe they have studied how to handle relationship, but is really a fake person.
Wow.
Dark psychology.
What do you do when that person after marriage changes?
We all do.
What do you do?
Okay, so it seems like the person writing the question is a better psychologist than the one they're dealing with. Yeah, because that person is able to detect the fake that is there. Yes. But obviously, if you feel that you do not have that skill set to take this on, then the wisest thing to do is to seek counsel.
Yes.
And that's what we offer at the Institute for Essential Care. That's at 59 McLendon Drive. That's right behind Foster's Airport Center. We'll be happy to, our clinicians will be more than happy to work with cases like these. Because I understand exactly where that person is coming from. And by virtue of the question, it feels that the person feels helpless to deal with this person because this person thinks he knows
it all.
He knows it all.
Red
And
flag.
so you really are definitely going to be in need of help.
Yes.
I'll be happy to ask individuals to do
You know,
that.
something just comes to my mind. As stuff like AI, ChatGPT and all of that emerges, there might be persons who would have who are, what do I call it now, who have these challenges, right? Paranoid, abusers,
Emotionally and otherwise.
right? And they will get qualified in these fields at some level. Maybe not a doctoral level, but at some level they might even get someone to do their papers, because all of that happens, and get licensed based on the documentation.
Yes.
And end up
And perpetrating these kind of behaviors.
Yes.
You're correct. You're correct. And that is why a person who does not have that skill set may feel helpless to deal with it.
Yes.
And so getting professional help in this situation is highly recommended.
And it can turn around to be a power and control situation.
Yes.
And this individual must recognize that he needs or she needs help.
Yeah.
And even in training, as Doc said earlier, every therapist need to have therapy and seek consultation. And so if this person is a true representation of a psychologist, then of course this individual know, I need some help. I can't know it all. None of us do. And go and seek it.
The person would not be a true representation, so they would even know how that is necessary.
So we're telling them now.
Okay.
We're saying it now.
Because there are persons who think they know
That's
it
correct.
all.
more than the person who is trained in the field.
That's right.
Yeah.
And if you hear them, and they might be well spoken.
Yeah.
Well spoken.
That is why it is in a
conviction.
case like that, you bring them to a professionally trained person
Yes.
to pull down their schema.
Yeah.
Right, because they have this schema that they're using to present something that is not real.
Yes.
And you don't have to have a master's degree or a doctoral degree. You just have to have common sense to know that some things are not real. Okay. Right. So I really want to commend the person for that question, and I would suggest that they seek help.
And that person who has a question need to seek help as well
precisely.
to be able to cope with that, because all of that is emotional abuse going on.
All right. That has been Family Matters for this Thursday morning. Thank you for your questions, and yes, to the first person again, the counselors are available. They will avail themselves to share with other churches. I don't know what other churches mean, but
all other churches.
All churches.
Yes.
All churches. Right.
As much as possible,
Yes.
because family life affects all of us across all denominations and cultures. And if we can make the family happy, the society will be happy.
Yes.
And that's our
And
goal.
we have been doing presentations in other churches as well. Yes.
So reach out to the Institute of Essential Care, and they can schedule some time with you. Is there a number for
There's our website is CaymanEssentialCare.com.
and you could send your
You can you can make your appointments there. You can email us from there, CaymanEssentialCare.com. The whole thing, everything is there. So we ask them to reach out to us. They can contact me at 325-7556. They can contact
329-6554.
329-6213.
Okay.
There
All
you
right. So thank you so much for coming this morning. We look forward. What's the topic next week? Are you still working on that?
Yeah.
This is
We're working. I think we still have some more discussion. A
Yes.
post-Valentine presentation
Yes.
next week as we continue to help those who are in this phase
Yes.
of choosing the right person before we move on to marriage and then parenting
Yes.
and then all the other stuff.
Yes.
We need to probably get this one all right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Because I have a lot of things to I know
Unlimited.
there are many persons who say stuff like, well, there's no man in the church, or there's no, you can't find any man, or
All the good men are gone.
all the good men are gone, or
Not
they're
necessarily so.
or a woman might say, "Hey, I want a real man, but you wear false ear, false breast for us."
We pick that up all next week. Next week, Thursday morning, we'll be right here, same time, same place on Family Matters, between myself and Dwayne and the lovely ladies who bring up the morning's beauty for us.
Yes, all right. This has brought us to the end of Right Start for this Thursday morning. Be sure to join us again tomorrow as we do it all over for you. Until then, this is Dwayne saying you have a good and godly Thursday.
Are you looking for real talk on love, marriage, parenting, and relationships? Join us every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. for Family Matters, a brand new show on Praise 87.9 FM. Hosted by Dwayne Uter, alongside Dr. Cheyenne O'Connor, a licensed clinical psychologist and relationship expert. We'll tackle the real issues that families face. Straight talk, expert advice, and live call-ins. Got questions? We've got answers. Tune in and let's build stronger families together. Family Matters, this and every Thursday on Praise 87.9 FM.
Hi, welcome to Jesus Wins, a daily devotional by Elizabeth Talbot. This whole month of January, we will be exploring the topic of accepting His love. January 13, His anointing. The Holy Spirit descended upon him, and a voice came out of heaven. You are my beloved Son. In you I am well pleased. Luke 3, verse 22. My parents always went out of their way to communicate their love and support for me. Recently, I found a note inside a book that they gifted to me, expressing their love and parental pride, which means so much now that both of them have passed away. My mother left a memories chest for me, in which she had kept mementos from various stages of my life. It contains things like my little red gloves from when I was a 1-year-old and a feather I wore on my hat as a child. I thank God for my parents, who lavished me with love and approval. Jesus received the affirmation of his Father's love and approval from the very beginning of his public ministry. Luke is the only gospel writer to report that after his baptism, Jesus was praying when the Holy Spirit descended upon him in the form of a dove, and a voice from heaven was heard. Prayer is an important, recurring theme for Luke. The Holy Spirit is another recurring Lucan theme, both in his gospel and in Acts. Two foundational events occur at the time of Jesus' baptism. The Holy Spirit descends upon Jesus to empower him for his redeeming mission, and God declares the sonship of Jesus, along with God's love and approval of him. The identity of Jesus as the Son of God